If you've been struggling following through on the things you know you need to be doing, in this video, I'm going to teach you how I get shit done. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting and host of the Big Stud Podcast. Please go listen. We have a lot of great guests, a lot of great information. Subscribe and share. Tag me at WinRate Consulting on Instagram. I'd love to connect and hear from you. But ultimately, people ask me all the time, Mike, how do you get so much shit done? Right now, I'm running 4 businesses. I got WinRate Consulting, WinRate Education, EC Grading, and a Champions Shoes, my nonprofit. I get a lot done because I have structure to my day that primarily uses triggers and time blocking. So what I'm going to share with you today is how I use those 2 things to get shit done. It's just that simple. So first I set the activity list. I figure what are the 5 to 10 things I need to get done today, and then I schedule them in my calendar and time blocks. Some are reoccurring, like my morning routine is the same every day. I get to the gym at 4:30, I read till 5, I work out till 6, I meditate, and I make my first long format social media post on Facebook. If you follow me on my personal page on Facebook, you know about every day between 6 and 6:30, you're gonna see some long format copy posts on my Facebook page. But throughout my day, I use triggers. So the reason that morning routine works so consistently is that I use the trigger of getting to the gym at 4:30 because the gym doesn't open until 5. So that trigger point, that arriving somewhere is a trigger. I don't leave the gym until I meditate and make my social media posts. So I use environmental awareness a lot for my triggers. So if you're struggling getting things done or finished, say when I get home at night, I'm not gonna leave the driveway, or I'm not gonna go into my house until I'm done with this thing, or I'm not gonna leave the house until this is done. Because we get really busy jumping from one problem to the next and moving forward and trying to make it all happen. Using transitions in your day as triggers is one of the most valuable things I do. Like, I won't leave here until I follow up on the 30 text messages I missed, or I won't leave a job site till I reply to the open emails that I have, whatever it might be. But then also understand the time blocks throughout your day of the activities that you need to do. So like read, gym, meditate, social media post is literally on my calendar 7 days a week. So I can look forward, I know that it's there, I know that it's happening. There's one other trigger that I use. I use alarms on my phone pretty regularly for things to remind me to do stuff because I have a lot of moving parts, right? I got client calling me, I got consumers calling me, I got coaches calling me, I got, shoe people calling me on the ACS side or the Champion Shoe side. But ultimately, I use alarms to make sure that I repivot my attention back to the goal of the day or the goal of the situation. So like right now, I have several alarms that go off throughout the day. One of them is be present, be grateful, be inspirational. Because I get lost in my own stuff sometimes and forget the fact that my audience is looking for me to be those things. So if I'm like in a bad mood or I'm struggling with something or I'm overwhelmed or I'm frustrated, that alarm goes off at 7:45, 12:45, and 4:45, which are the big transition points of my day. I got to go now be dad, or I got to move from dad into the day, or I got to refocus for my afternoon because the morning didn't go the way I thought it would. Those 3 time periods throughout the day refocus me so I can get retargeted on what needs to happen in that time period. But ultimately, none of this works if you don't understand where you're trying to go. Most people that I coach have this like, I'm just gonna put my head down, I'm gonna work really hard, and I hope that I end up where I wanna be. As you can imagine, that's not gonna be very effective. So what I do and what I teach people is figure out what you're doing over that next 90 days, what's the targets for the next 90 days that leads you to the yearly target. That's all it is. What are the tasks I need to do every day? When am I gonna do them? And how am I going to remind myself to do them? I am not perfect when it comes to task management. I'm very good because of checks and balances in my life. So I use Asana for task management. There's a video we did on that. If you want to look back, I'm not going to get into that too far, but it's a task management. I use time blocks in my calendar, and I use alarms and transitions of myself throughout the day to remind myself to do specific tasks. So social media posting, engagement, meditation, reading, exercise. Those are all the things that most people put to the wayside because of the fires of the day. Here's the reality. No matter how hard you work today, you're going to show up to problems tomorrow. So you might as well take some time to yourself throughout the day to make sure that you stay healthy, stay mentally sharp, and are the best version of yourself when it comes to you pouring in to your ecosystem. So right now, the next thing I want you to do is figure out the 5 things you want to make sure you prioritize tomorrow. I want you to put them on the calendar, and I want you to set alarms on your phone to make sure that they get done. I highly suggest scheduling those things around transitions in your day. And if you don't have that right now and you're waking up at 8 a.m., I challenge you to get up 30 minutes earlier tomorrow, because that extra 30, 60, 2 hours that I get in the morning, because my day starts at 4 a.m., I am ready to go when my audience needs me and my clients need me. I get my stuff to be the best version of myself out of the way through scheduling, triggers, and accountability of myself. So if that's something you're struggling with, that might be one of my biggest superpowers. I would honestly say the people that work with me know figuring out a way to get more done in the same amount of time is something I can help just about anybody do. So connect, reach out at WinRate Consulting on Instagram, but check out the podcast as well, Big Stud Podcast, and obviously subscribe to the channel. I put out this content. You're going to get weekly, high level, high value, tactical, implementable data that you can implement into your life right now, because my goal as a business coach, as an owner, as a husband, as a father, is to help everybody around me get value from me so that they